a steward gives account of what has been entrusted into him. So what kind of account are we going to give? Is that the best way to take care of what God has given us? If we don't know how to do it, we go back to the manual. He gave the children to us, so he knows how best we can raise them up. So you go back to him to help us. Steward, you are going to give account. A steward takes care of something that is not for you. And so what kind of account are you going to give? I think when we understand our role as stewards, we'll do more.
I know your first book, Wrapped Gifts from Heaven, talks about this fact so well, and that is the understanding I got. And I thank God I met you some years ago because I began to appreciate it better. Because if you are a caregiver or a steward or someone who takes care of something for someone, the approach is different. And that is what we need to look at as parents. But let's talk about modern parenting now. I mean, how do I balance it? If you compare it to the traditional way, some time back, you see that really trends have changed.
Yes. The world in which we grew up is gone. We are in a different world now. Back then, when parents talk or when adults are talking, you don't talk. A child must be seen and not heard. But now it's not like that anymore. Now we are trying to teach our children to be more assertive, to think, to be hands-on, and we are in the technological age. That comes with a lot of good things, but it comes like the rose, it has some thorns as well. And so if we leave them alone, we cannot stop them from going there. I recall when this internet thing started, I was so afraid. I didn't want my children to go on the internet. I was always keeping them away from it, but I was like, look, you cannot keep on. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. So you need to give them, you have to guide them, because a lot of things are happening now, especially because of the internet. And our children have gotten so used to it. They're always on their phones or on the tablets or on the computer, and they are learning a lot of things. They are listening to all sort of music. They are watching all sort of movies. They have lots of questionable characters as their role models. So you, as the parent, you should be the best role model for your child. The kind of person you want to see your child be that person. If you don't want to see your child drinking, don't drink. Don't let a child take somebody else. Be the kind of person that when they ask your child, can you define integrity? Can you define a godly person? Can you define somebody of character? He will say, my mother or my father. Okay, so you take that honor upon yourself, and then you do that. And then we have to come to appreciate and understand that lots of things are going on, like grooming, left, right, center. And because we are so busy, we don't see it, even though it happens right in our faces. We do not see it. And our children are not getting people to really talk to. They don't have people to talk to. So they keep these things in us. For us as parents, we think that we'll be buying them shoes, we're buying them tablets, we are giving them food, we are giving them clothes. What else do you need? What are you thinking about again? But
I had an encounter this weekend, and I was a bit sad because here she was, this beautiful, I think she'll be about 9 years old, beautiful plaited hair, she has amazing beads at the tip, beautiful flowery dress. I loved her shoes as well, but she went on and on talking to her friends. I mean, I could see them at a distance. I know that you think that my tablet is not as nice as my brother's own, and the brother will be about 4 years, and he also has a very huge tablet, in front of him. And I know that you think that my hair is not nice, and the friends around her kept saying, oh, they mentioned her name, you look so beautiful, and I love your tablet, I love the case, it's pink, it's this. But she kept saying no, so I sensed there was something wrong, with her. So I just approached her. I said, hello, I love your dress. And she was just awestruck. I'm like, it's the same thing your friends have been saying. In my head, I said that. And I said, did mommy do it for you? She said, yes. Did you pick the beads yourself? She goes, yes. I said, why did you pick this color? Then she went on and on. And then I hugged her. She held me so tightly.
That is it, Vicky. So mom and dad is buying things for the child, probably not speaking her language, her primary language. So sometimes we relate to people the way we think that they should be related to, but we have to know our children. Is that child's primary love language and physical touch?
Or probably
quality time? But here you are thinking it's receiving gifts. So you keep buying and buying and buying. And so even though you think you are doing your best, you're always falling short. He or she is always falling short of love. It's a love language, so she's falling short of that. Some would want the charitable affirmative words.
Affirmation.
So if you are not the one that is so expressive, and your son or your daughter is expressive, then you could buy everything that you need to buy. You could cuddle the child as much as you want, but it will not be there. When he or she steps out, and the other person says nice things to him or her, you are losing your child.
You've lost the child.
So we have to know our children, and you could have 2 or 3 of them. They all don't speak the same language. My son speaks physical. He wants the hugs and that, and so he tries to hug his sister, and she's like, "Why are you always touching me? I don't like it." So I try to explain, look, this is not her language. So it doesn't mean she doesn't like you, but that's not her language. As parents, we need to take our time to study our children and really communicate with them. We are not doing that. So they have so much in them, and they have no one to share with. They have no one to talk to. And so they keep it in them, and some of them take it to the extreme. They become suicidal, they get depressed, and it shows up in so many deviant behaviors.
So what can we do as parents?
Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to family life. Let's go back to parenting rights. Let's put our gadgets down a little. When you need to communicate with your son, last night my daughter said, "Mommy, I want to talk to you." I said, "I'm thinking you should close your laptop now." I said, "Thank you for reminding me." And I just closed it. Let's go back. Let's listen to them. When your child goes out there, or when he or she makes a mistake, what's the first thing that she says? "Hey, I'm going to be killed." Or she says, "I need to speak to mommy about this. I must talk to my father." That should tell. If your son or your daughter makes a mistake, and the first thing he thinks about is you are going to kill him or kill her, then she'll make more mistakes, because then she's not being guided. But have a relationship with your children such that they can say, "I need to speak to my mother about it. I need to speak to my father about this." And then we can go ahead. I mean, there are times that parents do all that we can. Sometimes you are parenting right, you are doing everything you're supposed to do, but things are not going as you expect it to be. Like the prodigal son, I don't think the father treated them so differently, but the same discipline, everything, but one went away. It doesn't matter, you keep praying for your child. When your child comes to him or herself, as long as you started the child with God, the word of God, he will come back or she will come back, and you should be willing, arms opened like God, to receive your child back. Not "I told you so." Not "I knew you would come back." Not "it serves you right." That is not validating your children, and that's creating more wounds for them.
Speaking about bottling up issues, your next book is Sexual Predators and Child Grooming. Why this and why now? Because I've seen quite a lot in this book.
Yes, Vicky, this came up, the Rap Gift series we have, and I think 2 years ago we had a meeting. And before this meeting, I had a few encounters with people who told me things, and I read a lot of things as well. So I had this meeting with the parents, and lots more came up. A lot of parents, lots of adults went through this experience, and they never really got to talk to anybody about it. And our children are still going through it. When you talk to them in the schools, they are going through it, because sometimes we believe it's stranger danger. That's what we've been taught. It's the person outside that you should be afraid of, that you should be wary of. But no, they live with us. Some are mothers, some are fathers, some are neighbors. And the reason why we should talk about this is that grooming is just like the person caring about you genuinely. You may not even see. You see, the person kind of prepares you like they are boiling the frog in the water gradually. By the time the abuse takes place, the child doesn't believe, the child is confused. The child trusted you, and so he or she thinks that if I tell mommy or daddy, I would not even be believed, and so I'll keep it. So in this book, I talk about signs to look out for, what grooming is, how you could even see a child is being groomed, and sometimes they groom parents to get to your child. They groom you only to get to your child.
So which kind of grooming are you referring to now? Because now I'm thinking that's not what I'm thinking.
Okay, not the early grooming that we were taught. Good grooming, wake up in the morning,
Yes.
you
So
brush
what
your
grooming
shoe.
are you
Okay, so
referring
sexual
to?
grooming. When the child wants,
see.
when somebody sets out the predator, just like hunting a prey.
Okay.
Like you are cautious, you are hiding, you don't want to be seen, you don't want your intentions to be known. So you tread cautiously, and then when when the child is not aware, you pound on the child. This is how the predators move. And so when they are grooming the child, they come like a friend, okay, a genuine friend, somebody to listen. Like we mentioned before, this person studies that child and knows that child's love language. So he or she will speak it. And it's both men and women are grooming. Yes, both men and women are grooming. So he or she will speak that child's language. Okay, and so the child will think, oh, he or she really cares about me. Or he comes and says that I've gone through the same experience as you, and this is how I went through it. Oh, your mommy doesn't love you, your family doesn't love you, so you tend to trust the person. So it starts like a genuine friendship, and then gradually they start to sexualize the relationship or the friendship. Start showing you things. Would say that, oh, it's by accident that he showed you the nude picture. Oh, it was just an accident. Next moment from the picture, we are looking at magazines, or we are looking at the movie. The next moment. So by the time you realize
you've been initiated, sort of,
and then they are not able to say it for so many reasons. Maybe the person is the breadwinner of the home. If I go and say, they're like, keep quiet, don't say things like this, and we don't believe them. We don't allow them to talk, and so they have all this within them. Sometimes the one who did that to them is the special child in the house, golden boy or golden child, where everybody sees him or her as the good boy. Isn't now that you're coming to say that this person, no, it's not possible, he will not do that to you. So why would I say it anyway? They will not believe me. And so he doesn't talk.
It's amazing. Positive Soul Food, Sunny 88.7. So in our quest to start right this year as parents, I just want you to give me about 2 pointers just before we wrap up.
Okay, so
2 pointers for us.
Somebody once said that we cannot go back to the beginning to change it, but we can start now and change the ending. So get to know your child. Get to know your child. It doesn't matter how things have been messed up before. Get to know your child. That so improve the relationship between you and your children. Get to know your child, and your child, every child that you have influence over. Get to know your child. Listen to them. Make sure that it's easy for them to come to you when they have problems. And please watch out for groomers, because they are everywhere. They are everywhere. Oh, sleepovers. They will sleep over at auntie's place or uncle's place, cousins, siblings. Let's open our eyes and not just assume that it's nothing.
Everything is okay.
Yes, it's nothing. There's this game that when we were kids, they said "Mama and Papa." So when it happens now, they're like, "Oh, it's just Mama and Papa." It's not that. And even then, it was not right. So why do you think it wasn't right? So why do you think it's right? No, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. So let's be friends with our children. Let's fill their self-esteem buckets. Let's talk to them. Let's pray for them. Where our hands cannot reach, our prayers can reach.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I'm looking forward to having you on the writer's blog, for us to talk about this book. But really, Barbara is doing amazing. Somebody's asking for your contact and maybe a social media handle.
My contact is 020
020
300 33 38. Okay, so
then do you have social media? Are you on social media?
On Facebook, I'm Mamiesi.
Okay.
For all the others, you can find me on Rap Gift Series. Gift Series.
Barbara,
yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For passing through.
Thank you so much.
And listeners, we are getting ready for Start Right, and I know that Michael and Letitia Ohene-Efa will be touching more on this, the family system. They are co-founders, Lead Afrique International. You ought to set the right goal for your family, and as a parent, it's so important. Barbara says, know your children, for yourself. Give them that environment. Create an environment where they can trust you and open up to you, because indeed they are groomers all around. You can always reach out to her, 020 300 3338. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This goes out to every outcast, to the just don't quite fit in.